Morning, everyone. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Silver Spring. My name is Carolyn Zavadkin. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm today's worship associate. Whether you're joining us here in the sanctuary or on Zoom, I'm so glad you are here with us today. We're glad each of you is here today, and we welcome you in the fullness of who you are. If you are visiting for the first or second time, or if you'd like to learn more about how to join our church, please be sure to connect with Linda Barrett, today's welcoming captain. And Linda is waving in the back of the room. About halfway through the service, children and youth will be invited to head to the fellowship house for some religious exploration with trained and background-checked staff and volunteers. This morning's service is about one way UUCSS could choose to live into the second two parts of our vision, to grow in relationship with our neighbors and to work with one or two local partners in advocating for our mutual liberation. Action in Montgomery, known as AIM, is a non-partisan, multi-faith, multi-racial organization that has begun an initiative for housing equity, tenants' rights, and climate justice across the state of Maryland. We are very, very lucky to have Tanushree Isaacman, lead organization for AIM, and Ms. Djamila Bah, project organizer, here with us this morning. Later on in this service, we will hear from her and from Bob Geiger and the impact they've seen AIM have in our community. Now it's time to greet our neighbors. I invite those on Zoom to greet one another in the chat, while those of us here in person get up and greet our neighbors around the sanctuary. When the music starts, please head back to your seat and stay standing for our opening hymn, This Little Light of Mine. Please use the words on the screen for all hymns, as they may be different in the hymnal.
Breath of life, you are in each baby's laugh, every question that leads us deeper, in tender words to those in pain. You are there in the prophet's call for justice, in the cries of those with no hope, in forgiveness and in forgiving. In this time made sacred by gathering together in the name of love and truth, draw us close to one another. Then guide us out to serve those hungry, suffering, and lonely, leading all toward life abundant. Come, let us worship together. It is so good to be together, so good to see so many of you willing to get up out of your nice warm beds and go into the cold morning air. My name is Reverend Kristen Schmidt. I'm the settled minister of this congregation. My pronouns are she, her. And I now invite Carolyn forward to lead us in our chalice lighting.
Please join me in the words on the screen. May this light warm our hearts with love and caring and guide us in the ways of truth. As we gather here for worship, we pledge ourselves to the endless search for truth, to the right of each to believe as mind, heart, and conscience dictate, to accept the responsibilities this freedom commands, and to implement our belief in the essential worth and dignity of every human being.
And now we are going to sing a new chalice lighting song that Michael wrote to the words of our chalice lighting words.
And never fear, nothing is ever permanent. So we're always trying new things, and the choir knows that they have often been guinea pigs for arrangements that I've had. So it sounds like this. I'll sing it once and then sing it back. It's really easy. This one's really easy. So. May this light warm our hearts with love and caring, and guide us in the ways of truth. Let's try that. May this light warm our hearts with love and caring, and guide us in the ways of truth. You want to try that again? Wait, you have the ending chord, then go. May this light warm our hearts with love and guide us in the ways of truth. Lovely.
So for today, I have a Wonder Box story. Do I have anyone willing to come up and open the one? Yeah, all right, y'all, we're ready. All right, can one of you lift up the heavy box? And then, okay, they're on it. They're going for it. What, oh, you're bringing it forward. All right, would you two like to tell us what's in the Wonder Box?
There's snowflakes.
Snowflakes! This is a story about snowflakes! All right, thanks, y'all. If you want to take the snowflakes with you, you can. They dissolve in water if you want to go play with them. Do you guys want to help me act this story out, maybe? You can do that. Okay. All right, this is... Okay. So, it's not an underwater story. No. Or a princess story. No, this is one of those wisdom stories that's been told a lot of different ways by a lot of different people. It's called The Weight of a Snowflake. So feel those snowflakes on your hand. Are those heavy?
Yes, they're very heavy.
Okay, I think that was sarcasm. Do you guys think that the paper snowflakes the children are holding are heavy? No, they're pretty light, right? Okay, so I don't know that it happened this way, But I do know that it's true that one chilly winter morning, a tiny mouse, oh no, not a mouse, a tiny shark mouse emerged from its winter home on, we're taking a breath, we're full of giggles. All right, who wants to be the mouse? Okay. These 4 children represent the mouse. There we go. And they have come out of the snow. Look out of the snow and look around. Look around you. What do you see? People. All right, if there are snowflakes, what do you think that means? Snow. All right, the little mouse came up and it looked around. Everyone look around at the beautiful snow. Ah, said the mouse. Oh, snow, it said. And as it was admiring the snow, a little bird came and landed next to it. All right, y'all. As we're telling the story, could you please pick up those snowflakes? Because it's not fair for Juan to have to pick them up for you. Thank you. And they played together in the snow for a minute, I'm going to imagine, as the children did, throwing the snow in the air. And they had a long conversation about things happening in their lives, about how they felt about winter, and about snow. And the mouse was looking at the snow. It tasted the snow. It touched the snow. And then it said, how much do you think a snowflake weighs? The bird said, well, not very much, right? It's a tiny thing, not very much. Why do you ask? I mean, it's not like a snowflake is heavy. And the mouse is like, well, I don't think a snowflake is heavy, but I feel like when they get together, they can get really heavy. Like one time last winter, I stood in the snow and I just started counting the snowflakes as they landed on the branch next to me. You know, there was 1 snowflake and then 2 snowflakes and then 3 snowflakes and then 2,347 snowflakes. And then the 347, I lost the numbers I did there, 8 snowflake landed and the branch broke. Crash to the ground. Oh my gosh, yes, you got a good handful of snow. Can we put all the snowflakes back in the bowl? Thanks y'all so much for playing and then cleaning up. And so I think, said the mouse, that while 1 snowflake might not be very heavy, once all the snowflakes start landing, once they get together, they can really make a difference. Has any of you all felt that like 1 snowflake might be heavy, but a lot of snow? Anyone shoveled snow? Yeah? Snow can be heavy, right? Snowflakes together. The little bird thought about this for a minute. Yeah?
Are these real snowflakes?
Those are not real snowflakes. I cut them out of paper with a punch. Yes. The little bird thought about this for a minute. I guess even the smallest among us can really make a difference. So today's service, y'all, is about the ways we can make a difference, especially the way our congregation as a whole. What's up, Pastor? I don't know. That's a good question. Let's keep pondering it. Today's service is about all the ways we can make a difference, especially the ways our congregation as a whole can help make the state of Maryland a better place for everyone who lives and works here by joining forces with Action in Montgomery. Every congregation and organization that joins AIM is kind of like hundreds and thousands of snowflakes. When enough of us choose to apply our weight, our efforts, our attention, our voices to an issue or a project or a law we think is important, we can help break down barriers to justice and equity, just like the snowflakes in our story broke the tree branch. Thanks, y'all. And if you want to take those snowflakes back to Bobby.
Dum 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 dum. One for all. Dum dum. One for all. Dum dum. one for all. Let's start a union, calling every human. It's all for one and one for all. Let's live in unison, calling every citizen. It's all for one and one for all. We don't want war, we can't take no more. It's a drastic time for sure. We need an antidote and a cure, cause we're caught in a race. We're looking for our own space. We don't want war. Gotta be a better place for you and me. Life like a pie in the sky and eye for an eye. Some people just gotta be free. Search for justice, and what do you find? You find just us on the unemployment fund. You find just us sweating from dawn to dusk. There's no justice to us. There's just us. There's no way. So after this, there'll be no more hard times, no more bad times, no more pain, no more chum change, none of that bull. Count on me on the count of three. Now let's change. Let's start a union, calling every human. It's one for one and all for all. Let's live in unison, calling every citizen. It's one for all and all for one. Got no time for grand philosophy. Better keep my head above the tide. Got these mortgages, got 3 kids in school. What you're saying's the truth, it really troubles me inside. I'd change the world if I could change my mind. If I could live beyond my fears. Exchanging unity for all my insecurity. Exchanging laughter for my tears. Let's start a union, calling every human. It's all for one and one for all. Let's live in unison, calling every citizen. It's all for one and one for all. I don't know, y'all, we're in a real deposition in the midst of all this negative conditioning. Extra, extra, read all the bad news on the peace of war where everybody lose. The rise and fall of the last great empire, the sound of the whole world caught on fire. The ruthless struggles, the desperate gambles, the game that left the whole world in shambles. The cheats, the lies, the alibis, in a foolish attempt to conquer the skies. Lost in space, and what is it worth, huh? The president just forgot about Earth. Spending multi-billions and maybe even trillions. Loss of weapons, trans in the billions to come together as one. So let's change on the count on one. It takes one, just one, and then one follows the other one, and the other follows another one. Next thing you know, we got billions. People doing wonderful things. People doing powerful things. Let's change to powerful things. Unity could be a wonderful thing. One for one. One for all. It's all. It's all for one. One for all. One for all. One for all. It's all. It's all for one. Let's start a unity, calling every human. It's one for all and all for one. Let's live in unison, calling every citizen. It's one for one and one for all.
Thank you so much to our musicians. We are so blessed here at UUCSS with such great music. So most Sundays here at UUCSS, the congregation is invited to share joys and sorrows aloud from a microphone. This morning, we will instead meditate for one another, holding each other in loving kindness with all of our joys and sorrows. Everyone will have the chance to check in and connect more deeply after today's service during coffee hour. And if you came here today with a heavy heart and you'd like some extra support, please don't hesitate to make an appointment to speak with a lay minister, with Reverend Caitlin, or with me. We would be happy to talk with you. Now I invite you to get comfortable in your seat, perhaps with arms and legs uncrossed and feet flat on the floor, if they reach that far. I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. In and out. Notice how your seat is supporting your body, how the ground beneath your feet is holding them up. Take a deep breath in and out. If you have pain anywhere in your body, just acknowledge it. If your mind is busy with worries or fears or thoughts about the future or that thing you need to add to your grocery list, just notice that. Bring into your mind's eye an image of yourself. You, your mind, your body, your heart have carried you through life. Say silently to yourself, may I be happy. May I be well. May I be safe. May I be free from suffering. May I be peaceful and at ease. Now think of the people that you care about most deeply, your family, your friends, people here in this congregation, people you know who are going through something difficult right now. Form an image of them in your mind. May they be well. May they be safe. May they be free from suffering. May they be peaceful and at ease. Now bring to mind those people in your life who bring you difficulty, annoyance, people you may not like, whether you know them well or not. Form an image of these people in your mind. Say silently to yourself, may they be well. May they be safe. May they be free from suffering. May they be peaceful and at ease. Now imagine the whole world, every living thing, every single person everywhere. May all be well. May all be safe. May all be free from suffering. May all be peaceful and at ease. As you take your next few breaths, let us prepare for a time of silence. If you've suffered a deep loss in the last year, you may stand or raise your hand during the quiet to honor your grief. Let us now enter into a moment of quiet, both alone and together. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Spirit of life, in weeks such as this one, filled with so much tragic, hateful, mind-boggling news and the struggles of each of our own lives, we bring low spirits in need of lifting, broken hearts in need of mending. As a colleague reminded me, we pray this morning not for a miracle to right so many wrongs, but to become the miracle, to manifest all of the courage and all of the commitments of the prophets and sages we remember. May the spirit of freedom, the heart of courage, the power of many that sees things through to the end, that keeps the flame of hope burning, be in us and with us as love and our faith in beloved community guides us on. Blessed be. Amen. It is now time for us to sing as our children make their way to their worship breakout groups in the fellowship house. Grown-ups, please remember to pick your kids up after the service. Let's join in singing together. Our time together is sacred, but now it's time to part. Miss being together, you're always right here in my heart. Last autumn, the ancient oil tank that supplied fuel to heat our house finally broke. Of course, it happens in autumn when it's starting to get cold outside. My spouse and I are very, very blessed that both of us are fairly compensated for our work. And yet, it became clear that with all of our other bills, we just couldn't afford to convert our heating system to something better for the planet. So we went with the cheapest option and installed a new oil tank. We are often told that the work to end climate change begins with the individual. And yet, every day when I'm washing my hands or doing dishes, I look out my kitchen window upon that oil tank. It's a constant reminder of how impossible it is to expect individuals to make the changes necessary to slow down climate change. That oil tank reminds me of all of the other people in my life, in my neighborhood, in my wider communities, who want to live more gently on this planet, but don't have the means to make big changes to their homes, whether they rent or they own. That oil tank sometimes makes me feel powerless, like the work needed to slow down climate change, let alone all of the other big problems in the world, is just too big for me to face. How about you? When have you felt powerless? It doesn't have to be connected to climate change like my story was, but I want you to think for a moment about a time in your life when you felt like no effort on your part would really help or matter, or when you felt really small in the face of a big challenge. Now, in a moment, we're going to do something a little different than we usually do on Sunday mornings. Those on Zoom, I invite you to share your stories of when you have felt powerless in the chat. And those here in the sanctuary, I'm going to invite you to turn to your neighbor, to whoever is sitting next to you or closest to you, and I'd like you to share your story about when you felt powerless with your neighbor. We will take 3 minutes total, so you each have about 1.5 minutes to share your story. When it's time to stop sharing, I will start singing to bring us all back together, and I invite you to join me in singing when you notice me singing that song. All right, share your stories, please. All right, so I want you to think for a moment about the purpose of working with others in the community. Think for a moment about the purpose of community organizing. Changing policies, changing laws, changing the budget might be things that come to mind. But in 1956, after the U.S. Supreme Court struck down bus segregation, here is what the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said was his end goal for the civil rights movement. The end is reconciliation. The end is redemption. The end is the creation of beloved community. It is this type of spirit and this type of love that can transform opponents into friends. It is this type of understanding goodwill that will transform the deep gloom of the old age into the exuberant gladness of the new age. It is this love which will bring about miracles. Beloved community, the concept of a world community where all share in the earth's gifts, was first coined by American philosopher Josiah Royce. Royce founded the Fellowship of Reconciliation, this country's oldest interfaith organization, and it was there that Dr. King first encountered the concept that would inspire so much of his public ministry. It's also come to be a guiding vision for our liberal faith. While beloved community can be glimpsed in small pockets in the world and in our lives, it's a future-oriented vision we can experience now when we put it into practice. The beloved community is made real when we interact and live in ways that nurture the flourishing of all life. This doesn't mean an absence of conflict, but a reality where conflict doesn't derail reconciliation. It isn't any single congregation or group of friends, any neighborhood, state, or country, though it can be experienced in all of those contexts. And it's definitely not a community of like-minded people. Beloved community is exactly the opposite. People who may not be like-minded about all sorts of things, but who grow in friendship and find ways to serve the goals that they do share. Though we didn't include the phrase explicitly in our vision, the beloved community is woven into it. After revitalizing our religious education ministry, you all identified 2 other priorities for our UUCSS vision: growing in relationship with our neighbors and working with local partners to advocate for mutual liberation. Both of these are key parts to building the beloved community, and I can think of no better organization for us to partner with to do this important and transformational work than Action in Montgomery, usually referred to as AIM. Established in 2000, AIM is a community power organization rooted in neighborhoods and congregations. Every action that AIM's members choose to take together begins with listening sessions just like the one we just did, where people are invited to share their own stories and concerns. Listening sessions happen in people's homes, in congregations, at schools and workplaces, and now on Zoom with people from all corners of the community. They are a way to build power and unite people from diverse perspectives and cultures, religious beliefs and cultural norms around the things that they can work on together. It's these listening sessions that help AIM identify which actions it will take in the community. In this way, everyone involved in AIM connects their own personal experience with the work to be done. It's out of those listening sessions that AIM chooses which actions to take as a way to help life flourish and as a way to help people know they are not, in fact, powerless. And AIM has demonstrated again and again that its members are anything but powerless. In the last 16 years, AIM members have organized to create over $660 million of affordable housing stock in the Housing Initiative Fund. Several years ago, over 1,000 AIM members showed up at a county council meeting where they were successful in getting all council members to unanimously overrule a budget so that the $30 million county executive Leggett had initially promised was actually allocated to renovate community centers in historically African American neighborhoods. AIM's past work has been Montgomery County focused. But this year, AIM has partnered with the Sierra Club, with PATH, which stands for People Acting Together in Howard County, and with Interfaith Power and Light on a multi-year statewide initiative for housing equity, tenants' rights, and climate justice. Just imagine how many people AIM will be able to mobilize to show up at the State House to fight for Inflation Reduction Act funds to be used equitably here in Maryland. Just imagine how UUCSS could help people's lives flourish by working with AIM to fight for more affordable housing, climate and health conscious upgrades for residential renters, and the creation of local, good-paying jobs to support this work. This is statewide work. AIM's community organizing model is set up to center the voices of people often marginalized by our society and our economy. Its model also creates ongoing opportunities for its members to grow in relationship with neighboring congregations across religions, cultures, races, socioeconomics, the kind of relationships you all included in our vision. We know UUCSS cannot live into that shared vision all by ourselves, because building the beloved community is something that only happens when we transcend barriers, when we celebrate diversity, when we work for the common good so that all life can flourish. It's easy to feel powerless when faced with the world's problems, and those with the most wealth and power benefit when we think we have to face our power only as individuals. But we are not just individuals. We are members of communities, and as members of communities, we have power. As we heard in our Time for All Ages today, we are indeed more together than we are alone. The weight of that last single snowflake can make the difference so barriers to justice and freedom can finally be broken. But in order to be more together, we need to be willing to invest some of our time, skills, energy, and some of our congregation's money to make it happen. UUCSS has power, but right now we spread it thin across many different organizations and issues. But our power as a whole congregation could have a much bigger impact if we were to focus it in partnership with one organization, an organization with a long history of success on issues important to us as Unitarian Universalists. Now, I could talk all day about the ways AIM helps congregations like ours use their power in impactful ways, but Miss Djamila Bah is here, and she can tell you firsthand about how being part of AIM has helped her move into her power and helped her to flourish. Please, won't you join me in welcoming Miss Djamila Bah to the pulpit?
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. Thank you for having us, Tanishri and I am Mr. Bob. My name is Djamila Bah, like Reverend just said, and I live in Montgomery Village, and I'm a mother of an 11-year-old son who attends public school. I'm originally from Guinea, Conakry in West Africa. And I was raised by my grandmother, who was a French expat. My grandmother fell in love with my grandfather, who at the time was in France studying and on scholarship. And he was doing also boxing on the side to get some money. So the move in my country, in Guinea, which became my grandmother adopted country. And she lived there for the rest of her life. And I came from a family who crosses boundary of faith, because we have different religions also, and geographic and race. So I'm gonna talk about how I got involved with AIM. It's through my son's school, South Lake. South Lake is the Title I school in Montgomery County and in Gettysburg. They were supposed to be renovated at one point, but they went down on the list. So through M organization, we got, with M organization, they organize all the parents and the teacher. So we got the school back on the list, and finally South Lake got rebuilt. So we have a brand new school last year, and the kids are very happy. So in that effort, it took a congregation and community coming together to put enough pressure on our elected official to get that new school, and we did it. So right now we're talking a lot about climate change. And through my community, we saw a lot of kids that has asthma. And with the news that we're hearing, a lot of kids get sick. And actually in our neighborhood, we got a lot of kids. So we decided again with M organization to start to do the NO2 testing, which I'm part of. So we did the NO2 testing to some houses, like around 200 apartments and some houses. The EPA should be around, outside EPA should be around 100 part per billion. But all the houses we've been testing so far, it's like double, triple of that number. And that number should be only for the outside, and we're getting that inside of the houses. So, this past fall, I joined the team doing the NO2 testing in gas and power kitchen. So according, like I said, for all that, now we're trying statewide to have Empower. The bill is called Empower. So we're trying for the state to get like some part of that money to people around us to have better choices, to make better choices, to have instead of gas, to have electric. So right now, that's what we're fighting for. So more and more, I'm seeing more and more that I'm being part of this community, working around and seeing all this issue, it pushes me to do more and more. And with a lot of voices and M organizing us, we really, really, really need a lot of people around us to fight and get result. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. And now I would like to invite forward UUCSS member Bob Geiger, who's going to share a few words with us.
So good morning. Thank you, Reverend Kristen. So I'm Bob Geiger. I lead the Defending Democracy group here at UUCSS, and I also am principal at New Hampshire Estates Elementary School. And New Hampshire Estates is a partner of AIM. So the day I first visited New Hampshire Estates over 25 years ago, I went to a school-wide meeting in the gym. There were kids and staff of all different races who had grown up speaking many different languages, enjoying each other, and singing the school song about friends from many lands who learned to all join hands. This place, I felt, was embodying hope for the world. It reflected the future we could build, that we needed to build, for all of us to survive and to thrive. It was, although I did not have the words for it then, the beloved community. I felt the same way when I first went to an Action in Montgomery meeting, and I still feel that way whenever I go to an AIM meeting. AIM reflects the beautiful diversity of this area that we live in. There are mothers speaking Spanish, women in headscarves, Black Christian ministers, Catholics, Presbyterians, Unitarian Universalists, Seventh-day Adventists, Quakers, Muslims, and Jews. Young parents and senior citizens, well-off and well-educated professionals, and recent immigrants with much in the way of spirit, but not much in the way of monetary wealth. All of these folks are building relationships, speaking their minds, and working together to make their community and their world a better and more just place. It is the beloved community. This is also what democracy looks like, beyond simply voting. It is real distribution of political power and participation in the civic life of the community. For democracy to work, for it to hold amid the chaos that will come, we need resilient civic institutions, organized political action at all levels, the building of bonds across the identity of group or tribe. This is what AIM does, more broadly and deeply, better, more intentionally than any other organization I know. I got to know AIM because they were instrumental in bringing an after-school program to our school. It's a great program for our kids and families. It runs from right after school until 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Kids do some studying, but it's mostly enrichment activities, arts and crafts, yoga, exercise. It is free, paid for by the county. It is fantastic for our working families that struggle to find and afford childcare. Our parents said that they wanted to prioritize after-school programming. So AIM organized our parents and brought the case to the county council. AIM can turn out 1,000 members for a candidate forum, so the politicians listened and acted. I want to leave you with a story from that organizing campaign during my early years as a principal. We had a kindergarten student named Galilea. She was a spirited girl, but lacking in self-confidence. Her family spoke Spanish in a society dominated by English, and Galilea was born with only one complete arm. Galilea's mom came to some of our parent coffees and parent events about the after-school program. AIM was looking for a parent willing to speak to the county executive at a budget meeting about the difference that an after-school program would make for our community. Galilea's mom did not speak much English. She was not a born leader, but she was willing to speak at the budget meeting. I remember going with Galilea and her mom and Tanushri to the budget meeting. Galilea's mom got up and spoke her piece in Spanish. It was translated for County Executive Ike Leggett and the rest of the crowd. Her heartfelt words helped us get the after-school program. Galilea was there to see it. Galilea was smiling afterwards. She was proud of her mom, who had shown that she could do big things. Neither Galilea nor her mom will soon forget that night. That is what AIM does. It empowers people.
Each year, we invite every single person who considers this congregation to be theirs to make a financial pledge to the congregation for the following church year. Right now, we are inviting everyone to make financial pledges for the 24-25 church year, which begins in July. By telling the annual budget drive how much we need, we each plan to give what the next year provides, the board with the information they need to prepare a responsible budget with all voting members of the congregation will have the chance to approve by vote at the congregational meeting in June. We'll hear a bit more about the annual budget drive in just a few minutes. But along with the financial commitments that sustain all we do here in UUCSS, we also give and receive an offering each Sunday. We do this not because giving is an obligation, but because generosity is a nurturing and spiritual practice. It is a weekly opportunity to give back to a universe that has given us so much. There are lots of ways to make your offering to UUCSS and help this congregation serve our mission and live with our vision. If you are here in person, you can place your offering in one of the offering plates that is passed around in just a moment. Now, please join me in dedicating our offering to the mission of this congregation: to create joyful spiritual community where we connect deeply, serve, and mobilize for our collective liberation. The offering will now be gratefully given and received.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can, reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can.
Take a little time out of your busy day to lend encouragement to someone who's lost the way. Oh, would I be talking to a stone if I asked you to solve a problem that's not your own? We can change things if we start giving. Why don't you reach out and touch somebody's hand? Make this world a better place. If you can, reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can. If you see an old friend on the street and he's down, just remember his shoes could fit your feet. A little kindness and you see it's something that comes very naturally. We can change things if we start giving. Why don't you reach out and touch somebody's hand? Make this world a better place. Sing it. If somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can, reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can, reach out and touch somebody's hand.
Good morning. My name is Emily Harris, and I'm a member of the board. I use the pronouns she, her, hers. We gather for worship every Sunday morning here at UUCSS, both in person and by Zoom. But Sunday mornings are just one small part of who we are and what we do as a congregation. We are a vibrant collective of lay volunteers, leaders, and paid staff. We are growing relationships with our neighbors here in Silver Spring. We are a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association. And we are one small part of the global UU faith movement. I hope everyone will look over the ways to connect highlighted in the printed program the Sunday support team handed out on your way in. We also have 4 announcements we'd like to draw special attention to this morning. First, if you're interested in learning more about Action in Montgomery, please join Ms. Djamila and Reverend Kristen after today's service right here in the sanctuary. After today's service, the Green Sanctuary Committee will be doing postcard writing to state legislators in support of 4 bills related to environmental justice. Please come to the back of the sanctuary to look up your delegates and write a few postcards. All you need is a sentence or 2, your signature and address. Please see Donna B. Smith, Maureen Malloy, or Linda Barrett for information and materials. And the last of my announcements, something I'm very excited about. Next weekend is a big one here at UUCSS. This year's musician in residence, Leah Morris, will be leading us in a workshop and concert on Saturday, and she will be our special guest musician for the 10:30 service on Sunday. Please see your program for the QR code to buy tickets for the workshop and concert. Whoops, I think it's a bit.ly link. If you didn't pick up a program in the way in, there's more in the back. And our final announcement is about our annual budget drive, and Pat Scheid will give an update.
Good morning. My name is Pat Scheid. My pronouns are she, her. And I have a great update. I mean, just look at those numbers. We are 69% towards our goal. In the past 10 days, we've raised $150,000 in this church. So that is 81 of 143 pledged units or households. So what I want to say this morning is, first of all, I've been a member of UUCSS for 35 years. This is a place where I raised my son as a single parent. This is a place I come to celebrate. This is a place that I've come to grieve and to share grief with others. This is a place where I come to sing. This is a place where I come to really find a channel for my compassion and for action here in my local community and in the world. And I think if you're sitting here today, or if you're on the Zoom, if you're joining us by Zoom, you're probably here for a lot of the same reasons, or other reasons of your own. That's why it's really important for everyone, seriously, everyone who is here, or who is a member, who is connected with this community and who wants to stay connected, who wants to make a difference, to pledge. Our official deadline for completing pledges is tomorrow, February 26th. So it is really the 11th hour, folks. If you've been waiting for the full moon, that was last night, and it was gorgeous. If you've been waiting for Santa Claus, he is not on the ABD committee, not his gig. If you've been waiting for me to get up here and beg you to make your pledge, I'm not too proud to beg, and I am doing it today. I am begging you to make your pledge today so that next week when Leah Morris is here, that thermometer is at 100% or more, and we really have something to celebrate. And guess what? I have all your pledge cards right here. So all you have to do is meet me at the back of the church. I will give you your pledge card. If you're not sure if you've pledged yet, there's a good chance that you probably haven't. Just saying. Now, I understand things get put off, but I'm really asking you not to put it off any longer. I also have blank pledge cards, so if I can't find you in this deck, there are plenty of blank pledge cards, and you can fill that out too. There's a QR code. You can go online and do it. It takes literally 2 minutes of your time. And 2 minutes of your time is worth the support that we need to continue the life and work of this church. Thank you.
I just want to add an extra special thank you to everyone who has already turned in their pledge. And so many of you have increased your pledges over the ones that you made last year. So thank you all so much. That is making a huge difference to us reaching our goal. Thank you, Pat. All right. Please won't you join me in the words of chalice extinguishing. Carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again. And now let's rise in body or spirit. We'll sing our closing hymn, Wake Now My Senses, one of my favorites.
Keep with our
won't you be seated? Go now in power, friends, the power that comes both from within, but also from among. Each of us is precious, but all of us are powerful. And when we join together like so many snowflakes, we can break through all sorts of barriers. Now our worship is over and our service begins.
People, can you feel it? Love is everywhere. People, can you hear it? Song is in the air. We're in a revolution. Don't you know we're right? If everyone is singing, there'll be no one to fight. People, can you feel it? Love is everywhere. 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 Love is everywhere. Love is everywhere. Love is everywhere. Can you feel it? Love is everywhere. People, can you feel it?
Help us out here.
Everywhere.
Thank you.
People, can you feel it? Love is everywhere.
Help us with this groove right here.
People, can you feel it? Love is everywhere. People, can you feel it?
Sing with us. Yeah.
Love is everywhere. People, can you feel it? Love is everywhere.
Last time. Here we go.
People, can you feel it? Love is everywhere.